I'm Dave D, and you're watching XP Team USA.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Big Detecting Show. A little bit of a relaunch this week. Some of the things will remain the same for the time being, but they will be evolving, as you will see very shortly with the introduction of our first new thing, and that is a co-host. Good evening, Mr. Adrian Gaylor, who's our first co-host. How are you, sir?
Good evening, Dave. Good evening, everyone. Yeah,
are you well?
Very much. Yeah,
good.
I'm good, thanks. Yeah, very well.
So we've looked at inviting people along as a weekly co-host, Adrian being the first. Next week we'll be joined by Mr. Aaron Weedle, and then we've got two others to confirm, and then thereafter we'll be obviously all sorted and taking it in turns here, there and everywhere. So thank you for agreeing to join us, and you can't see the full picture at the moment, but on the left of Adrian's image is the Treasure Hunting magazine, and on the right is Greenlight Publishing. There you go, look at that. Very nice. I love the way you've got right in the middle.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, flash. Yeah.
Not as much as a flash as we had earlier.
No, better not talk about that. Yeah. And that guy, that guy, he's been there for about half an hour, so he's got quite a big hole he's digging, so he'll be there for quite a bit.
I think it's a scarecrow, to be honest.
Where's the gummage?
And there's someone about to go in your ear.
Yeah.
Anyway, tonight we will be joined shortly by our two guests for this evening, Digger Dawn and Digger's Dips. That's Mr. Chris Bailey. So, Chris will be introducing you to, well, I'll let Chris tell you when he comes along, but we will be having a free prize draw tonight. Unfortunately, the prize draw was ended at 3 p.m. this afternoon, so they could fill the random number generator with the correct names, etc., and set it up. So, unfortunately, there's no more people can enter at this point. So, next week, hopefully, if all works out well, there will be another go. And this is what's called a mistake with daughter's hair dye. It hasn't turned out. It makes me look like I'm trying to look young instead of trying to look cool, or something like that. Hello to everybody already in the chat room. First and foremost, I'll have to say Nick West because he's always first. Darren Booth, History on Earth. Rob Random, Bob Hope, Dirt Diggers UK, Scott and Kimmy. Good evening. Tony Kaywood, Facebook user. Lovely man, that Facebook user. Mark Lawson, good evening. Pete Sheldon, Four Tone Searches, Nice VA85, Diggers Dens Tyson Fury, and Suffolk Search and Metal Detecting UK. Good evening, everybody. So, the first thing that we're going to introduce is to our weekly schedule is that of a pre-recorded news broadcast instead of me doing it. And hey, Mr. Higgins has made it. So straight over, share the screen, share the audio before I forget that. And let's go in the news.
And first up, a great little video I found online. Man sends brother on treasure hunt for Message in a Bottle. So for those TV viewers, you can watch the video. For those on the radio version, have a listen, and I'll explain at the end of the clip.
Let's check it out. Huh, how did I get there? What is this?
Well, do you put in here? No. A note.
What does it say? Open it.
What?
What does it say?
It could be a prank.
Okay, what does it say? A prank?
It says, "Hey Joe, you're the what? You are already the best bro, and also the best friend. So will you please say yes to be my best man? Love, Will." What? We want to be my best man?
So for the podcast listeners, what you've just heard is a video of a man in America that buried a bottle with a message in it for his younger brother. And the message was asking his younger brother, who suffers from Down syndrome, to be his best man at his wedding. So we go from that to the news from Garrett Metal Detectors, and they have now announced that they are bulk shipping production orders of the new Ace Apex multi-frequency metal detector from their Texas manufacturing facility. And certainly I know on the field I've got an awful lot of people that are very curious about this new machine from Garrett, the Garrett Ace Apex. And we move on to the news that over 44,000 historical items have been unearthed across the UK since June 2019. And out of the 10 regions listed with the most treasure discoveries in the past 12 months, these include Norfolk with 6,527, Leicestershire with 4,101, Suffolk with 3,105, Lincolnshire with 2,650, Hampshire with 2,006, Wiltshire with 1,689, Oxfordshire with 1,647, North Yorkshire with 1,508, East Riding of Yorkshire 1,322, and Somerset with 1,209. 44,000 objects in a year. That's pretty incredible for our hobby. And we move on to another product development, one that I'm really interested in. The first real kids detectors released for sale soon. So we probably all tried those National Geographic things that cost about 15, 20 quid. I know I bought one each for Nelly and Bonnie, and utterly, absolutely hopeless. I mean, you couldn't even use them as part of a game, just completely ineffective as a metal detector. But Nocta Macro, of course, the kings of innovation, have decided to develop the world's first waterproof kids metal detector, and this will be available in both the mini and midi horde. We don't have an exact date yet as to when these will be available on sale, but we do know that it will be soon. It's going to be more like weeks than months before you or your kids will be able to get their hands on a Nocta Macro Mini or Midi Horde. And we will be having a special show in the coming weeks here on the Big Detecting Show, which will be based solely around this new innovation from Nocta Macro. So keep your eyes and ears open for that one. A year in there or thereabouts on the Big Metal Detecting Show. So thanks to everyone that's watched, especially our regulars that tune in, week out. I'm not going to do shout outs because I will forget people. I know I forget some names, but to everyone that has come on as a guest, to everyone that comments on the shows, to everyone that listens and watches, thank you very, very much. It really is much appreciated. It is a show by detectorists for detectorists. We're not professional. And there is one guy I want to give a shout out to, and that's Dave Sadler, because it's not always easy in all honesty, and it's a lot easier for me when things start to go wrong when I'm not the one on camera. So well done, Dave, mate. Good job. And this is the first of a series of kind of the show's going to be going over a bit of an evolution over the next kind of 4 or 5 to 6 weeks. So we're going to be adding in some new segments. We're going to have a co-host with Dave each week, and each week we're going to be adding something new to the show to try and make it better. But thank you very much, and I hope you enjoy tonight's episode with Digger Dawn and Dave and his co-host, who is Adrian Gaylor from Treasure Hunting Magazine. So a fantastic co-host. So thanks very much, guys. And yeah, please share the link, share the show, and let us know if there's anything we can do for you.
Well, there you go. There was young Mr. Luke. Thank you very much, Luke. I think that worked very well. Much better than me scrolling through it on screen. So, as I said, something that we are introducing is the pre-recorded slots. We'd also like anybody to who would like to offer a short video, be it 1 to 2 minutes long, in the field, talking about a find, talking about a new machine, even a news segment that they feel should be included in the show, and we'll be more than happy to include that. So what do you think of that, Mr. Gaylor? Oh,
Sorry, Dave, what was that?
Oh, there he is. What did you think of the news?
Sorry, did I freeze then?
You did, you went like that. And you've done it again. So I will crack on unabated without Mr. Gaylor for the time being. This is what Luke are on about, our technical difficulties every now and again. But hey, we aren't professional. We try to be, but we're not. So I'm going to go back to sharing the screen because we've got some images to look at from the big metal detecting show Facebook page. This one was actually pointed out to me from Andy Jones at Metal Detecting Britain and Beyond, a chap called Glenn Lister's finds, and we're hoping to have Glenn on in the coming weeks to talk about his metal detecting. And hell, look at them, absolutely stunning. Yeah, still waiting for gold and still waiting for one of them as well. Ian Jackson, Sky's dad, always sends his images to the big metal detecting show Facebook group. He's had the ring up today, so this is Ian's ring from today, and very nice indeed. Looking forward to being able to see that cleaned up properly and find out any information about it too. He also posted this image of all the seals that he has, and I pointed out a gentleman to him that you may know in the metal detecting community called Jed Dodd. Jed Dodd, he's a bit of an expert on Russian flax seals. I think I've got that right. I've actually got a book a small book that Jed put together regarding them a few years ago. But on the back of this image that Ian put on, Phil Taylor put this one on of his bag seals. Now, in the first image, there was none, Jed said, that were of the flax seal that he looks at and his website looks at, Project Peace Havens, I think it is. But on this image, and I'm not sure, I'm not wise, but apparently 8 of these are the Russian types. I've just seen one there that looks absolutely stunning. Where is it? Look at that. Star of David. Beautiful. That's me, that. But I'm not a star. And that's it. That's the images for this week. So if we go back and let's see if Mr. Gaylor has unfrozen. Mr. Gaylor, have you unfrozen? Here he is. Hello, Adrian. Have you unfrozen?
Sorry, I've got Virgin Media 250 meg broadband, right? And it never ever plays up. Shouldn't advertise, and it's just upstairs. It just keeps dropping out. So I thought I'd drop the green screen and come downstairs. Sorry about
Well,
that.
You might have saw the news
I did. I
segment.
saw the news. A lot better. Thought it was really good.
It is. He's done that fantastic. I asked him, Luke, how'd you do that so I can, do it in the future? I don't think I've got the editing options. I've got something called KindMaster on my phone, but other than that, I haven't got the options. And hey, let him do that.
I like the way it's news that's not often been seen by a lot of people. So
yeah.
I don't know where Luke gets it from, but no, it was really, really good. So
I've actually got another video to play a little bit later on from news from the TV series Aussie Gold Hunters, which has come out this week. Short video of 2 absolutely massive gold nuggets that have been discovered. And then we've just had a look at some of the images that have been posted on the Big Detecting Show Facebook group this week by Ian Jackson and Glenn Lister. So we've had a look through them, and there was
I found gold last week, Dave.
Did you really? What did you find?
Do you want to see it?
Yes, please.
Let me...
Oh,
see that?
No, here it comes. There you are. Oh, very nice.
William III, 1696, half guinea.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and that was something which is the usual story. Just before you go home, said to my mate, should we detect just that bit of field there? And it's 3 inches down, which amazes me, but very, very nice coin.
Stunning. Yeah. And you know what? For me, it's also nice to see somebody else's sharing the screen, because obviously when I'm sharing the screen, I don't see what's on what everyone else sees. So it's great for me to see that. Yeah. So thank you for that. Right, I'm going to bring on our guest for tonight, Chris Bailey from Diggers Dips and the lovely Digger Dawn. How are you both? Oh, there they are. There's Chris and there's Dawn.
I'm all right. I'm a little bit snotty, but I'll be all right. I'll get through it.
We can't see you dripping from here anyway.
I'll put my nose bungs in if it gets bad.
So tonight, Dawn's going to be introducing the Garrett Apex in a little while. Obviously, Dawn's got the Apex. It's new to the country, as Luke spoke about in the news. And of course, Chris is here from Diggers Dips. He's going to be discussing a bit of a relaunch for yourselves as well, Chris.
Well, it's a bit slow. He's gone a bit slow.
Can't hear a word you say. You're stuttering, Chris. It's a lovely art, though. Yeah, I can hear you. Nice art. Right, go on. Let's try again then, Chris.
Right.
It's technical. Technical heaven here this morning, isn't it? Oof. So anyway, on Chris's behalf, is that okay, Chris, if I crack on? Modern technology. Chris must be on Virgin as well, and Chris is upstairs.
Nice hat.
It's a fantastic. I want one of them hats. Oh, the hat's gone.
Dave.
Yes, Luke.
Could I? Sorry to interrupt. Could I suggest that maybe Chris hasn't accepted audio?
I can't hear anything now.
No, we can't. We can't. We can hear him. It's just juttering a bit. Chris, can you hear me now? Right. Well, very intermittent. Chris, is it okay if I introduce what I obviously I can't speak as well as yourself, but basically, Diggers Dips have offered to include a free prize draw weekly on the show, which will take place tonight at 8:45, as we said at the start of the show. So people who have entered before what time was it? 3 p.m. this afternoon. Obviously, will be included in the draw. I think it's 40 to 50 people have actually participated. So that'll be done on the Diggers Dawn. He told me one. Chris said this would happen on the Digger Dips website. So on the Diggers Dips website. This will take place at 8:45. We'll put it on live so you'll be able to see exactly what's going on. And the draw, you'll see who wins. And then the person who wins will be credited, I think, on this particular show, 10 tokens. That's a value of around £10, which they can use in any of the further prize draws in the future at their whenever. Chris, can we hear you yet?
No.
Did they do all right then, Chris? Was that all right? You like that, Chris?
It is a good question.
Right. So I'll show something. I'll show a brief video. I'll show a brief video now. Something that Diggers Dips are going to be introducing is similar to a scratch card. Nod if that's right, Chris.
She's asleep.
See if I can change my internet. DVD.
Okay, you do that, and I'll crack on for a moment. I don't know what's going on anymore. It's all gone pots. So anyway, right. So Chris is going to be. I'll share the screen and I'll play a video on Chris's behalf that he sent me today. Look, sharing. I've ticked audio, so we're all right there. So as soon as the machine starts to share, I'll pop over to this file. And this file, there it is, and we'll play this video. So this is a video on behalf of Diggers Dips. This is a new game to be included. So as you can see, there's a scratch card, 39 different locations, and the person is going through the field, having a little metal detect on the field, as you can see by the little thing. Found nothing. Oh, and they found some shotgun shells, so they're worth 5 points. So when we get good connections off Chris will obviously be able to tell us a little bit better. So I'm assuming that points make prizes, as the old Mr. Forsyth used to say. Old MacDonald's farm. I wonder if there's an old MacDonald who has a farm that we can metal detect. E-I-E-I-O. So I think that gives you an introduction into that. So it's the new Diggers Digs game. Musket ball, 10 points. So hopefully we'll be able to learn more about that momentarily.
Oh, I think Chris is fast.
So then there's also, as you can see, a leaderboard. So I would assume, therefore, the person with the most points from the Diggers Digs games will be on a leaderboard, and there will be a restart and a prize for the person in top place. So that was the current game. So that's what the game that we've just seen. That's what was found in that. So it was worth a lot of points, about 160 points there. So that's in short the new Diggers Digs game, which as I say, I'm hoping Chris will be able. Chris, you look like you're actually in a Happy Mondays video now. It's all gone Pete Tong, but we will get there eventually. Is that it? Is that? Hello, Luke. Luke's popping in. Hiya, Chris. Can you hear me, Chris?
I think that's an old day.
Look how professional my co-host is being here, laughing. That's better.
We're just laughing at nothing.
Oh, let's go back into the chat room. See who's here. MS Detectorist, XP, Robert Hunter Collinson, official Gold Digger, Mark 80 Prozac, Aaron Weedle. Good evening, Aaron. Look forward to seeing you next week. Kevin Dig Roche, Mr. Pete Terrell. Hello there. He says put some new batteries in, Chris. David Dickinson. Is that the actual David Dickinson? John Clayton, Bubba Williams. XP, Zorps Metal Detecting, hello to South Africa and to John Webb. Let's crack on a little bit more and let's have a chat to Dawn while Chris gets sorted. Dawn, how are you?
I'm fine. I'm sorry I've got a bit of the giggles. Everything's just made me laugh.
See, it was worth coming on just for that.
Yeah, it was.
Adrian, ask the lady some questions.
Go on then. Suck it to me.
Adrian's gone. Oh, there he is.
I was muted, probably because I was laughing too much. Dawn, everyone on here tonight, no doubt, is interested in something that you received the other week.
Yeah.
Your Garrett Apex.
Yeah.
Seen some YouTube videos. What would you say are the just 3 points? I know there's a lot that you so far you've only used it a few times. I understand. Would you say
I've
that?
done probably about 26 hours with it.
Right.
I thought I'd try and work stuff with hours because I've had it a few weeks before everybody else. And the one that I've got, I was thinking at the time when it came that it was going to be a finished product, but it's still a little bit as a test product. It's not the same one as that's being shipped out at the minute. So it was still in test feature, which I've been giving Garrett feedback on.
What would you say? Sorry. What would you say are the top 3 things that you like about it the minute you turned it on and used it in the field?
The first thing that really, really hit me, which I was absolutely overjoyed about, was the weight.
Yeah.
Going from an AT Max with an L coil on, which is quite heavy. I mean, I have got one big massive shoulder, a big massive muscle there from the AT Max, but I was getting a little bit of elbow problems, like with it. My elbow was starting to hurt. Anyway, since I was using that, the lightness of it and the way it's balanced and the way it swings is absolutely a dream. Yeah. I was walking around the field making noises like, it was so lovely. So yeah, that's the first thing that I really, really like about it. Obviously I'm still learning it. If anybody knows me, I'm not one of these people that can chop and change really quickly. What I like to do is to get a machine and then learn it until it's an extension of my arm. Mm-hmm. I like to really, really know that. So it's taken me a little bit of a while, but I'm swapping through the frequencies. I've been having a go on the 5, 10, 15, 20. I've been doing the multi-frequency. I've got to say, one of the things that I'm really super impressed by was the beach mode, the MS Salt mode. Yeah. I went to Blackpool. I'm no beach detectorist. I am a complete novice on there. I'll hold my hands up. But I have been beach detecting before, and I've been with my Euro Ace, I've been with 400i, I've been with my AT Max. And this Apex was it far out. It outdid all of those. I had it running in full sensitivity. I took it right up to the water's edge. It was so quiet. I really couldn't hardly believe it myself. I mean, luckily I bumped into somebody that I knew called Ken on the beach while I was there. And he does beaches quite a lot on Blackpool Beach. And if you don't know Blackpool Beach, it's quite highly mineralised. It's not one of the best beaches to do. And he's got an Equinox 800, and I bumped into him there and I was showing him, and he couldn't believe it. He said, Don, I'll back you up. He said, if anybody needs to, evidence of what it's like, he was really, really impressed. So I think, in terms of it, because Garrett's haven't been the best on the beach, have they?
No, they haven't. No, definitely.
That's always been a bit of the failings. You've had to turn sensitivity right down, and the multi-frequency on a beach works far better than a single frequency. So I think this is going to really skyrocket Garrett back into beach mode, because that multi-salt frequency is something else. It really is. Yeah.
No, I agree. One other thing which I was quite surprised about when I got it out. I should tell people. I've got one here, which I briefly mentioned to you, Dawn, when we came on. Is the coil? It seems really small at first. Did you think that, Dawn?
Well, initially I thought the same, because obviously I've been using an L coil, which is massive, it's like a bin lid. And when I looked at it at first, I thought, "Ooh, that's a bit small." But what I have found with it, it has been good. I've been going on a bit of trashy areas. I've been trying to test everything, and just having that narrowness, it's not really affected it that much. It's not.
No.
It's not as small as what I would have expected.
I was really surprised. It's a lovely design, that coil. Very
Yeah.
slim, but yeah, it still covers a fair bit of ground. And I was out in the stubble last weekend, and it was an absolute dream. It just getting between, the stubble and the plough as well. It's a I mean, they must have gone and spent quite a bit of time researching that sort of size. But going back to what you said about the weight, I think it's nearly 0.5 kilogram lighter than the Simplex.
Very, very, and it's really well balanced. I think because they haven't got the battery compartment in anymore, and it's just a small unit on the top. I think the balance of it is just, you don't feel. I mean, I don't feel like I've got anything in my arm at all.
No,
because like I say, I've been used to a big, massive AT Max with a massive coil on.
Yeah, I was 8 hours and just didn't ache at all afterwards. You're right. It's not just the weight; it's the balance. And I mean, they've used the original Garrett grip, haven't they? Which
that's not an Ace grip. That's a grip off the AT Max.
Yeah. And
that's better because I don't really like that foamy. I mean, the foamy one's all right, but I've always preferred the one that's a little bit more solid. That's on the AT Max.
If it's not broken, don't fix it. Do you know what I mean?
That's the one.
They've listened to it. But where have you? So what sort of land have you been on the beach? You've been on pasture.
I've been on beach, but I'm not a beach detectorist. You might as well class me as a beginner because I don't know. But and there was a few people that was knocking about the internet saying, "Oh well, we don't send her. We need a proper expert on the beach." But I believe that if a beginner can do something, then an expert can take that further. And I went on there absolutely clueless, really. Well, not completely clueless, but I went on there, clueless-ish. And I was able to, keep it quiet. I wasn't messing with the settings. What you saw was what it was actually happening. I wasn't being able to manipulate it because I knew beach detecting really well or anything like that. I tried to bury a few gold things. It was a bit difficult because it was all coming back up and that, but I tried my best. And I've got to say with the multi-frequency as well, the gold signal on that machine, this is my third thing, the gold signal on that machine is very, very solid.
Yeah.
I don't think that if you went over any gold that you'd miss it.
No.
Because sometimes the machines, gold can be a bit rough, can't it? Low 50s. But the gold sound on that, the Apex, is really, really clear, I've found.
Yeah. I was quite surprised actually because I use my gold wedding ring every time, like an air test, and then dig it down a few inches. And you're right, the tones are really nice, really, really nice.
Well, can we have number 4 things that I really like about it? Because the tones, there's 5 tones now instead of the 3.
You can't have 4.
Hey?
You can't have 4, only 3. No, I was joking.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, the tones. I mean, another thing. I think what Garrett have done, and I do know Garrett quite well. When they come over to England, and I spend a lot of time with them. And the new guy, Steve Novakovic, who you will have seen on the adverts, he's been like the new CEO of Garrett. And since he took over, he's really tried to speak to customers. I mean, I watched him at Detectable, and he was walking around, and people didn't know who he was. And he was really asking them questions about what they would like and what they would like to see. And he took that on and tried to do it. So, the days of Garrett just sticking to the old thing have gone because he's new and he's listening to the customer. And I think that the customer have wanted is multi-frequency. They've wanted it going on the beach, all right. And the bing bong tones. Everybody goes bing bing bang, bing bang, bing bang, which they can be a little bit like that, can't they? Where these now with these new 5 tones are very muted. They're not that bing bong that they were before. They're very, very muted. They're nice to the ear. You can tell the difference in them. So you're not just listening to boo, like you were before. You've got that the 5 And like I say, they are muted and they're really nice, quite nice and musical to your ear.
Yeah,
Do you
it's a
find
nice phone. Yeah, it is. It's a pleasure to listen to, actually.
Yeah.
I've got a question here. Is it all right if I ask someone in the chat, Dave?
Certainly.
Yeah. Zarps Metal Detecting, South Africa. He said, I still don't understand why Garrett would bring out a detector that have a beach mode but fail at making it waterproof. Well, I don't know Garrett as well as Dawn, but I'm reckoning there may be an Apex Pro coming up soon or in the distant future.
They've hinted that there is going to be an Apex 80, which I believe there will be.
Yeah.
And if I can make an analogy with certain things, it's like if you bought a Fiesta car, like I've got, you can get a Fiesta, you can get a bog standard, and then you can get bits and bits and bits and bits and bits up to the ST line, right? Then you've got the Fiesta ST. Now, you know, the ST line has got all the bits, but it ain't quite got the power and extra bits of the ST. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's what they've done. I mean, if you look at, I mean, I've weighed it up a lot. I've seen a lot of people trying to say, is it better than the AT Max? Is it better than this? Is it better than that? It's exactly where it's supposed to be, in my opinion, anyway. It's as an upgrade from any of the Ace series, the Ace 400i, I would say all day long. You know, with the weight, with the wireless, with the multi-frequency, with everything else, it's a massive upgrade on the Ace series. Will it take on the AT series? Yeah, it's got features, especially if you're a beat detectorist, yes. But you know, it's not quite as reactive. You know, the reactivity is not quite as fast as the AT is. Obviously, the weight's better. I think when the AT Apex comes out, which I'm quite sure it will, with the faster reactivity, waterproof and everything else like that, I think that's going to be a machine of the dreams. I think that is going to be a machine of dreams. But yeah, so yeah, people go on about waterproof. I mean, I don't know if you saw my last video, but it was absolutely torrential rain. And me and my friend Kev, we went out and we got absolutely drowned. And I left that machine out in the rain constantly all the time. There's not a thing wrong with it. I had no cover on it, nothing or other like that. So I think the weatherproofing and the waterproofing is just something where it's not a big as deal as what people are making out, I don't think.
No.
I know what you're saying about the beach. You know, why make it a good beach detector and then not have it waterproof? But I took it to the beach and, you know, I was at the water's edge and I dropped it on the floor and stuff like that. It was all right.
Yeah, I think you're right there.
Underwater. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, I think you're right there. It's a bit like having cruise control in your car. Most of us don't ever use it. But, I mean, the only times I get my detectors wet is when I'm in the field and fall in a ditch, which seems to be quite often. And that is sober. But, you know, when I go on the beach where I live near Essex, the beaches are full of trash, pretty much. And they're a bit of a nightmare. There is some occasional ones which are quite clean, but it's a bit of a nightmare. But I was surprised when the Apex came out. Did Garrett do a cover for it, Dawn?
Not that I know of at the minute. They've not. No. I think they're in the process of making some new coils. So they're going to have new coils that can fit on, because at the minute the technology in the Viper coil only fits the Apex technology in its body. So you can't put a Nell on or anything else like that. You can't swap any other coil onto it at the minute. But I think they're producing their own coils for that. But no, not that I've heard of. But I've heard that there's already something in the pipeline of someone else making a cover for it.
Now, can I interject, people? We're shortly going to have to go over to the Digger Dips live draw. So I apologise for interrupting. We'll get back to this later. But obviously, I just want to bring Chris back to introduce the draw, if that's okay, because I think we've got Chris back. Let's all laugh at Chris.
The big thing is, can you hear me?
Here he is. We've got him. He's fallen over.
Sound
He's
and
falling
picture.
over and he can't get up.
Right, you
How
can hear me
close?
now, yeah?
Yes,
Yes,
Chris.
can hear.
Well,
How
we've
close
got
are you to the
we've got 3.5 minutes till the draw. So obviously, I played the videos and that before, Chris. I think I was able to give a basic introduction into what the new Diggers Digs is going to be occurring. I will come back to that a little bit later so you can explain in full. But before that, if you would like to, obviously, we've got 3 minutes to go. So if you can give an introduction into what's happened tonight, if that's okay.
Right, well, I have to talk very slow to make 3 minutes last. Right, well, obviously the draw, that's going to be a regular thing on your show. We're going to set that up every week. And as things develop, probably, prizes will change and so on. But now it's just it's the first one. I think what we'll do is that how can I put it? No, I can't put it in any way at all, actually. There's nothing much to say about this draw, really, because it's just there. It's going to happen tonight. That'll be the first one. And then, like I say, we'll just do one every single week for everybody.
That's fantastic. Well, we do appreciate it, and obviously the viewers and listeners appreciate it. So obviously that's going to be a weekly thing. And how it's doing it, Chris, what we've done this week, we ask people who to sign up to Diggers Dips so they can have a screen name and then tag somebody else. And obviously that's it. That's pinned to the top of the Big Detecting Show Facebook page. I had to read it on the screen then because I forgot it. And then obviously by 3 o'clock on every Thursday, all the names will be taken, put into the how it works, your background and what have you. And then 8:45 every week, we have a draw. And that's about it, really, yeah?
Yep, that's spot on. That is nearly 8:45.
It certainly is. That's the Diggers Dip website, as you can see. Luke's pulled that up. But I'm going to be going over in about a minute and a half over onto the page itself to show you the draw that's taking place tonight, which I actually won on one of the dips the other night on one of the coin draws. And I won a silver Roman denarius. So I'm looking forward to seeing that because I'm still to find Roman as well as gold and, well, most things really. Lots of buttons and pieces of lead and rings off tent tarpaulins and such like. But there you go. So we've got a minute to go. So I'm going to share the screen again, and we will go over to Diggers Dips as soon as it shares. Is it sharing? There we go. So we can chat amongst ourselves. So, Chris, what actually happens when it reaches 0?
Right, what I do on the last 5 seconds, the screen slightly changes. It does the countdown, and then what will happen? Then the numbers will start counting down. Well, the actual numbers will come up. Just a random number selector. They'll play, and it stops one reel at a time, and then it'll announce the winner.
Fantastic, simple. The only one when you were on a couple of weeks ago, obviously we watched the draw, but generally I actually forget when I'm in one, even though I get a reminder. So here we go. We're coming up to 5 seconds, and I'll let you announce the winner, Chris. Oh, the tension.
Who is exciting?
0. One.
It's in the teens then.
Number 10.
Okay, and the winner is Lewis. Is that Lewis? Oh, you've taken off the screen. Lewis COV.
Lewis COV. So I take it Lewis will now be contacted via email to tell it he's won, and that'll be credited to his account.
Yeah, that'll be done very quickly. What we'll do, we send out normally send out an email to say you're a winner, and they normally claim. They send back the details of the claim, but in this case, we'll just credit him with his 10 tokens.
That's fantastic. Well, thank you very much for that, Chris. We're going to go to adverts momentarily, and then we will come back and continue chatting with Chris about Diggers Depths and with Dawn about the Apex with Mr. Adrian. And I went over to show them.
Sorry, it's DJ.
I think this is what people think, or toy shop. A little bit too about the situation. I think you actually been involved
I'm Dave D, and you're watching XP Team USA.
Well, I've just been reading through the comments, and Luke, can you bring yourself on screen a moment, please? Come on, Luke. Come on. Come on, Higgins. Luke, is it your birthday?
Oh. No.
There's somebody called Luke's birthday. You're getting lots of happy birthdays.
Yeah, definitely not mine, mate.
Oh,
Unless
all
the
right.
Alzheimer's is really set in.
Well, just go and check if Laura's bought you anything anyway. And if not, tell her why.
Definitely not mine, my friend.
Okay, young man, thank you. So I've missed out who Luke is there when I'm going through the comments. We've got a couple of questions for Dawn when we come back to her shortly. In the meantime, if we can go back to Chris, and then obviously, Chris, if you can give us a brief rundown over the Diggers. I forgot to get him to put that counter of how many times I say it wrong. Diggers Digs, the scratch cardy type thing. Can you give us we watched the video earlier. Obviously, a little man going around finding shotgun shells, musket balls, a gold ring. So, what's this about?
Okay, it's not a scratch card. That's the first thing.
Okie dokie.
Right. Okay. What it is actually a virtual metal detecting game. And the idea is we're going to give you 2 free games a day, and every game you play, you'll get points for everything you dig up. Even cartridge cases, ring pulls, you get points. Obviously, the better the find, the better the points. What happens then? Every day, your score is added onto a leaderboard. There are on the leaderboard, which Dave, have you got the picture there? You can just show the leaderboard.
Yeah, one moment. I'll bring that up. You keep chatting, and I'll find it.
Yeah. Now, there's 5 top prizes. Now, this is totally free, this game, so it's a way of effectively winning a metal detector and all sorts of accessories, and purely by, at the end of the month, having the highest score. Now, you get 2 games a day, and we've timed it from 12 noon till 12 midnight, and 12 midnight through to 12 noon. And what happens with this is that you get 1 game in each 12-hour period, and the highest score for that game will go on the leaderboard. And as you move up the leaderboard, you'll see that there's in total there's 15 positions you'll be able to see, and then the top 5, which are slightly different. If we can bring, there it is. Yeah, there we go. So what you'll do with this now is that as your score, every day your score will be totaled up, and eventually as you move up the leaderboard, when you get to the top 5, you're guaranteed a prize. Of course, somebody can knock you off that. So what we've done, we looked at ways of how you can increase your score, and the only fair way we could come up, we didn't think it was fair to charge people for extra goes. That would make it unfair for everybody else. So what we've done, we introduced 4 games extra for 1 token. So what you can do with that is, if you only scored 80 points or 90 points on your 2 games, you could actually spend 1 token and 4 more games, and it's only the highest score in one of those games that will be recorded. You could end up effectively having 4 lower scores than your 2 free ones. So it makes it very fair for everybody. You can either have a free extra games or you don't. And as you move up the leaderboard, you'll be, as you can see on that leaderboard, you can see 6th to 15th. You'll be, as your name comes on there, and then eventually you'll move up to the bigger leaderboard, and that's where you need to stay. And we'll call this for every month on the last day of the month, the game will finish, and the 5 prizes. Obviously, you'll be able to see on there who's won the 5 prizes.
Yeah.
Now going around the actual the board, there's a selection of fields: pasture, ploughed. Is there any way you could play the video again, Dave?
I don't see why not.
Go on then. Right, as you can see there, you've got the little spade. Now you can use the arrows to move right and forward. You can use the cursors on your laptop if you're using a laptop, or you can actually swipe the screen, and that'll move your spade around and dig. Every time you dig, you see now, I think it's something in there. I remember finding in there. Oh, no, I didn't. Maybe it's the next one. Right, yeah, cartridge cases, 5 points. You even get points for cartridge cases, points for ring pulls. Of course, when you start digging nicer things up, there's a gold nugget, there's a gold ring, there's Roman silver, gold, and bronze. There's a nice selection of finds throughout the fields. When you find anything, as you can see, it just says, dig again. You find nothing, dig again. And you can move then 40 attempts per game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just waiting to see where. Now on these fields, I don't know when this is going to stop now. Yeah, stop there. Okay, on the game, there's a selection of fields, say ploughed and pasture. There's a farmhouse you can dig around, and every month we will change that location for you. So it's very, very real in a way. You know, as you work your way around all these fields. I know when I played it the first time, I couldn't help think I'm going to dig by that tree because there's always something under a tree. But of course, all the finds are completely random, and every time you play a new game, those finds would change location, so you can't go back to what you think might be a hot spot.
Looks fantastic, and obviously free. People like free.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, right? You could win a detective and nothing. You could just play your 2 free games every day, work your way up. If you're lucky enough to get good scores, I mean, I managed to score 280 on one game. Which is pretty phenomenal because I've only managed to score about 90 to 150 on my other goes. But it is possible, if you're lucky, you could be up on that leaderboard. We're going to put a metal detector up for the first prize anyway for this draw that starts on the 1st of September. So you could effectively win a brand new Noctua Simplex or something purely by playing your 2 games every day.
Mm-hmm.
Chris?
Yes.
A couple of questions, don't mind me asking.
They're easy.
Does it work on a mobile phone or a tablet?
Yes, yeah, it's mobile friendly as well, yeah.
Oh, God, I'm not going to get anything done at work.
Chris, that sounds fantastic. I'm going to be in that. I'm going to be having a go at that.
It looks good. And also, if I lived in sort of overseas, how does that work if I win a detector? Is it open to everyone in the world?
Right, it's open to anyone in the UK and Europe.
Right.
We can't. I mean, everything comes from Leisure Promotions. So anywhere they send out to, the prize will go. But certainly, it won't be going to America or anything. Obviously with customs and things, it just wouldn't be practical.
No, I was going to say you wouldn't make any money. Yeah. Okay.
Rob Random in the comments asks, when will the game be live on the site?
Right, what we're doing at the moment, we've been winding down. We're changing a few things. We've been winding down the draws and not replacing them over the last week. Because what we're going to do, we put a free draw on there at the moment. Just 5 prizes we put on. They're totally free. Just go on there, sign up, sign in, whatever, and get a ticket, and you're in the draw. Now we put 999 tickets, which sounds a lot, but we're not actually going to use those up. We're actually going to call the draw on Monday the 31st. That'll just be called and done. And then Tuesday, the 1st of September, we're going to be launching the game. One thing we discovered with this as well, with the draws, is that we started off doing multiple draws with, say, 5 prizes or 1 coin. We discovered through feedback that people want multi prizes rather than multi draws. So we're going to restructure the homepage, and we're going to have 1 big coin draw, 1 big prize draw, 50 odd prizes. And what we're going to do then is we're also going to launch what we're going to call the Diggers Dips Book Club, and we're going to run a draw, literally one after the other. And we're going to have 10 top quality books on there for people to win, but we're only going to do very low tickets. So the chance is going to be between 6 to 1, 7 to 1. We're going to do 10 books, 70 tickets, for instance, £5 a ticket. So it's not so much about profit with this. It's the fact that, we everything we do, we try and put into charities. You see there's a charity page on our site, we sort of top that up as much as we can. But yeah, so everything is going to be the 1st of September. The game will be made live 9 o'clock in the morning. We'll be in game, the book club, and the new draws.
Fantastic. Well, I've just entered my free one for this month. See if I can get another winner. So yeah, and if you're not a member, obviously join up, sign up, and there's a free draw on there straight away. So what could be better? We like free.
That sounds great, that, Chris. I'm really impressed with it. I really think you've done a good job on that.
Yeah, I want to say thank you as well for letting me post on your Facebook page. I know you.
Post away on the fence, because it's the one thing that groups worry about a little bit is about being spammed with like all these fake things. But I'm glad I've come on here tonight and spoke to you, because I think that's a really good thing. I think it's really good.
Yeah, but I think with the game. If we do make anything at that game again, there will be a charitable donation on that as well from the game. It's very difficult. It's only micro payments at the end of the day. It's only a quid here and there. So, but I know from a personal point of view, since I've had the free access to this game, I've been playing it non-stop. I couldn't help myself. I was sat in the car the other day waiting for my missus, and I was just sat there. I thought, I'll have a couple to go. And I had about 10 games on there because you can swipe it. When we originally, Paul, actually, our developer, when he actually designed and built this game, you were tapping the little green arrows. And, my fingers on the phone, I was like struggling a little bit. So last week, he said, well, look, we can make this swipe as well. Oh, God, now I can get through a game now. I can do 40 digs in about 10 minutes. So you can really power through the game now.
Is Digger Dips on Detector Network yet? Asks Nick West.
We are there, yeah. We're working with Scott. The site is on there, and his site is on there, yeah.
Well, and I found out who Luke is as well. It's not our Luke. It's Luke from Anglo Detecting, Unearthing Our Past. Yes, Rob, I am one of them. I missed that. So happy birthday to Luke. And also, if she's watching, happy birthday to Dialect from Nocta Macro for yesterday as well. What time do you call us? So we that's all our questions for yourself, young man. We've got anything else to add then? Well, if anybody else does have a question for Chris about Diggers Depths, if you get that in now, and we'll ask him straight away. Is there anything else, Chris, you want to add?
No, I'll give a shout out to Mark Betcher and Metal Detectives. He's sorting out all the coin draws for us. So all the coins come from Essex Coins, and he does all that for us. Obviously, shout out to Pete as well at Leisure Promotions, because he does all the dispatch of all our prizes. Yeah. I see there. Where's my? I can't even. Where's my finger? There it is. Yeah. So apart from that, I think that's pretty much it. I say 1st of September. Like 7 o'clock on the 31st, the free draw will be called. Okay, and then let's say everything really starts then on the Tuesday the 1st.
Fantastic. So a big relaunch for Digger Dips as well.
Yeah. Don't need that many changes other than just everything. apart from the look, it'll still be red.
John Clayton asks Adrian Gaylor, what red wine are you drinking? I'm on the Merlot.
It's Ribena, but I ran out of tumblers, so yeah, I'm on the Merlot as well. Purely medicinal.
I'm on a health kick. I'm on the bottled water.
Oh dear.
Damn health kicks. It's not working yet.
Lemonade with a little bit of rhubarb gin in it.
A little bit.
Bubba Williams says, good luck, Chris. I'm sure it'll be a success.
Oh, thanks, Bubba.
So I think we all agree with that. I know the people who are using the site currently will agree. And I've won on the site, so I can't complain. I'm all right.
Much.
Shh, don't say that. Don't say that. Giving the game away. Right, so Chris, you can stay with us by all accounts, by all means. Ask Dawn's any questions, but I'm going to jump back to Dawn now because we had some questions earlier that we didn't get to. So I'm just scrolling up to find them. And the first one was from Aaron Weedle. Will this replace your AT Max, Dawn? The Apex?
Depending, I mean, it's a bit of a no. It's not. My Apex is not going in the cupboard just yet. I still like my AT Max because of the reactivity, because of the depth I've got with the big coil and everything else like that. It depends on where I'm going to. If I was going on a stubble field, I would take the Apex. If I was going on a beach, take the Apex. On my pasture, I do prefer my AT Max. Is that because I've used the AT Max for 3 years and I've only used this other one for a few hours? I'm not sure yet. But yeah, no, Max is definitely not gone in the cupboard yet. It's definitely not gone in the cupboard yet.
Young Mr. Pizzarell asks, it's obviously labelled as an Ace, but should people think of it as a beginner's model, or are the features and performance pushing it above that?
I would put it mid-range, really. I wouldn't say it's beginners. I would say it's a bit mid-range. It's very easy to use. If you look at when you're scrolling through the menu and everything else like that, it's very easy to use. It's quite good if you've got a bit of knowledge about a metal detector, understanding frequencies, depending on what you're looking for, about if you want to go into a single frequency and have a look for, if you're looking for small bits of gold or whatever. I would put it I would say it's took the Ace range to an absolute new level. That's what it's done. Whether it's not replaced the AT Max, but it's not supposed to be, and it's not been marketed to be that. But as that level of money and that level of a detector, it's proper something to be. It's up there, definitely.
And going back to another question, at that point, the Apex, is it as powerful? Is it as good as the AT Max?
Well, it depends on what you mean by powerful. Its reactivity is not as fast, but I wouldn't expect it to be. It's not supposed to be. But in a lot of ways, it's the coil's really good. I can get in smaller places like that. I say I can detect a lot longer because it's lighter. All those things. But I think it was advertised to be the apex of the Ace range, which it is. As an upgrade to the Ace range, all day long. You've got your wireless, you've got all your different frequencies, you've got multi-frequency, you've got your sound frequency, you've got all that stuff. They're not going to try and take the AT Max out with it because they're going to produce an AT Apex, aren't they? It's never been out there to advertise to take on the Equinox 800 or take on a Deus or it's never been advertised at that. It's not at the price point to take on that.
Mm-hmm.
So no, it's not going to take me AT Max out, but it's close.
Kevin Creswell asks, is the Garrett Apex deep as Maxi AT Max?
Well, it's strange. A lot of people, I think, have been quite disappointed that they wanted me to do tests on that. They wanted me to do, this test and that test and what have you. I had a test machine, so I wasn't going to do them sort of tests. Now, call me old-fashioned, but I always think that I like to, find stuff that's in the ground, because when it's buried in the ground, it's got the halo effect on it and everything else like that. I think you get a true representation of how deep a machine can go. All these little air tests and all things like that. I mean, call me what you want, but I don't think they're very accurate, to be honest.
Yeah, agree.
Now, I've found, I think in general, it's not quite as deep as my AT Max. But I mean, remember, I have a massive coil on that. But I have found things 8.5 inch deep. Now, there was a video on the internet the other day by somebody called Ohio Metal Detector or somebody who had used an old test machine that was one of the very first prototypes that were out there. And it was saying that it couldn't find a target under it, that the iron was masking this target. Now, I don't know what he was thinking when he did that. I mean, the first time I took it out, I don't know if anybody watched the video, but I took it out and I found quite a large piece of iron and I pulled it out. I was quite surprised because the signal was quite high. And anyway, I chucked the iron away and about 3 inches under that, so it must have been going about 8 inches at this point, I found a little blob of aluminium. It wasn't anything silver or anything like that. But the iron definitely didn't mask what I'd found underneath. So, I mean, that would have gone down to about 8 inches. And I have found a few things that have been quite, deep like that.
I think the multi-flex technology is the key thing here. And until it's been used a lot, it'll, like Dawn said, it'll work in different ways.
Mm.
And that's why I think on the beach, it works so well. The multi-frequency. I mean, what's the AT Max? 14, 13.6?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Yeah. So you're running loads of different frequencies on the Apex. And I think the depth, you might get some more depth on some targets, you might get less depth on some targets compared to the Max. It's one of those things, isn't it? You don't know until everyone starts using it. But I think the new multi-flex technology will benefit it massively for the money anyway.
So you've actually used
exactly like that. I mean, a lot of people want you to go out and immediately start doing nail tests and nail bed things. But, I wanted to, call me old-fashioned, but I wanted to go out and actually dig stuff up and see how deep it was. But, yeah, it takes a lot of learning. It takes a lot of experience. And it takes a lot of holes to sort of really work it out what it is.
Yeah, digging everything, yeah.
Adrian, you've got the machine yourself. What are your initial thoughts?
First, I think everything. That's why I was interested on what Dawn said about. I asked her 3 key things that she felt straight away the minute she got it out of the box and used it: the weight, the ergonomics of it, the balance. It is really light, really, really light. I mean,
it is, isn't it?
And it swings really well. The tones are nice. I think, like Dawn said, people comparing it with the Max and the Equinox and all the other machines out there. I think if you look at how much it is, it's not a beginner machine, but it could be if you're quite techie. I think if you were quite switched on, you could use it as a beginner machine. But for an upgrade, and if you're a Garrett man or woman, it's a huge change, but an easy one. The controls are really easy to use. And one thing I would say, have you got the wireless headphones with it, Dawn?
Yeah.
They are cracking, and they have got signal speed 5 times faster than Bluetooth.
Well, I've been using them for 3 years anyway. I've had them on for 3 years with my AT Max.
But
And them headphones are absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
I couldn't recommend anything better. I mean, there's no lag on them or anything else. They're really, really comfy. They don't hurt your head at all.
No, that's right. But if you look that they come with a machine like they do, that's pretty good going. I think if you look at other machines in the market, have you charged your headphones yet, Dawn?
Yeah.
How long do you get out of them, roughly? Just out of interest.
I get a lot. It's hard. I mean, I never want them to run out. So, but I've been out 2-3 digs sometimes with them. You know, like probably 9 hours.
Yeah.
I've never run them out till they've gone.
Yeah.
I plug them in and charge them before I go. But I mean, even the technology for being able to use the wireless pinpointer. I mean, if anybody's not used the Garrett wireless pinpointer, the AT one. I mean, when I first got one of those, I thought it was a bit of a gimmick. I thought, well, it's just a bit of a gimmick. But to hear them in your headphones is so much better than that. Well, I've made the buzz noise now because when I first got the headphones and nobody could hear it, everyone said, well, we like to hear the buzz noise. So I started doing buzz in my videos. So I started doing it. But the wireless pinpointer, the headphones, all that wireless technology that's in the Apex is it's a game changer. It really is.
One thing I did notice as well is obviously I've got quite a few machines and I've got a Nocta Macro Simplex, which I've used for a while, and Nocta created the mute volume option on, I think it's 2.77 software. And so, rather than your aftermarket pinpointer or whatever brand you got interfering with your detector, you can mute the Simplex. Now, with the Apex, I use 2 different pinpointers, and both of them aren't made by Garrett, and they didn't interfere, which was quite nice to know, because quite often you'll get interference from a different brand of pinpointer. But the 2 I used, which are quite common, didn't interfere with the Apex, which is a little thing, but it is annoying. If you're digging 40, 50 holes or plus, and you're constantly getting every 5 minutes, it is annoying. So, they seem to have, and I've used it with my friend. We went out and he's got another machine that's got different frequencies, and it wasn't affected by that either. So, it's interesting.
Well, that's another good thing that I was saying, because before the old Garretts always had like 4 frequencies where you could just change so you wasn't interfering with your friends. This one's got 8 on each frequency. I mean, I went and stood near Kev, who I go digging with, and he's got an Equinox 800. And when I very first went out and I switched it on, it was like, and I just flicked the channels up to channel 7.
What was it doing?
Absolutely silent.
What was it doing, Dawn?
Yeah, there's nothing worse than when your friends are interfering with you in the field.
It's not good when you get interfered with in the field.
No. And
look at Paul's head pop. Chris's head pop up then. He was asleep and he was up like that, like a little meerkat.
He's not got his trousers on. I think. No.
I mean that's the big thing.
Yes, he has.
When you're on big hunts, like and things like that. I mean, so to be able to have 8 channels on each frequency, to be able to move away, from somebody else, that's quite a lot. That you can find somewhere that you're absolutely not interfered with by anybody else.
Just got a question on here from James Newman. Did Garrett still use the 2-pin connection? Hope that doesn't cause problems like I had with my old AT Pro. I don't think they do use a 2-pin connection.
No, they don't use a 2-pin. It's like a 5 thing that goes.
What does it do, Dawn?
Oh,
yeah, 5 prong.
There it is, you see, just the same as what I was doing.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't very different to what you were doing, Dawn. I don't know what you were cupping there.
That was the same. Look.
No, it's not. That looks rude. Another question off Darren Booth. Does it have updatable firmware?
Oh, now Can I answer?
Well, this
Well,
is
go
the
on.
big question, isn't it? And we don't know. I mean, it's got a small USB connection and things like that. They've not said it's going to be what they've tried to do, and that's why they sent it to all those testers. I mean, we've been testing it for Garrett, not for the general public as such, and I think that's why people have got upset when they said, "Why have you not tested it next to an ale and things like that?" I think they're trying to get it right the first time. You know, Garrett get things right the first time, and they don't need to keep updating. I mean, updating's great for some people that are technical. But I mean, I keep seeing people on my group that are wrecking machines and all the XP Arcs because they're downloading patches that are they shouldn't be. Which, you know, if you're quite tech savvy, you wouldn't do it. But there's a lot of people out there that are not tech savvy and that they're wrecking machines because they're downloading updates that they shouldn't be updating. So I think they're probably trying to avoid that. But whether they can do or not, I mean, who knows?
There is a little shot there of a USB-C port, and sorry.
What are you doing now? There it is.
There's a little USB-C port there. Now, like Dawn said, when the Vanquish came out, that had a slot for updating it, and a lot of people were saying, "Oh, maybe they will, maybe they won't." And the Vanquish has had an update. The Equinox just had a recent update, and I think it's something which, if it's not broken, you've got the option to update it if you want. And I think, like Dawn said at the very beginning of the broadcast tonight, they've listened to their customers, and there's other manufacturers seem to be. It's getting hot out there with metal detecting manufacturers, and I think they're having to listen to their customers now. So the ability to update it in the future is possibly going to be there. You know.
Well, as Jerry B. Morris says in one of his comments, there's so many machines in the marketplace now, more in the pipeline, and not all will survive.
No, well, look at White's.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, White's have gone, haven't they?
Yeah.
I know we spoke about it before. Welcome to the show, Sid Perry. We did mention it before, but he must have missed it. Will there be any other coils available for the Apex?
Yeah, they're actually. I've spoken to Steve Moore about this, and they are actually in the process. They're making some new coils for the Apex, so there's going to be a different range, a bigger one, and blah blah for the Apex. But yeah, at the minute you can't use a Nell or a Mars coil or anything like that. But they are in the process of making them. Yeah,
fantastic.
Cool. I've got a question, just a quick one. Your Apex screen, I've been out with it in the field, and you know, like you get these expensive mobile phones, the screen doesn't scratch. Well, when I took the little thin screen protector off the front of the,
did you take it off?
Yeah, you have to, because otherwise you lose 6 inches of depth on the machine. Did you not know that? No, I was joking. A lot of people do iPhones. They leave it on and then phone up Apple and say, I can't hear people properly. But I don't know what they've used, Garrett, but the screen on the Apex is really, really, looks like scratch proof. You know, like some.
Like that elephant glass.
Well, it's like glass, but it's like plastic. It's really clever.
You see, the thing is, I was going to do it in my next video because I know a lot of people are OCD and they don't like taking stuff off. So what I was going to do, was going to peel it off, like, put some music on it, like scary music.
Yeah.
And I was going to take it off because I am quite rough, me. I'm not like one of them gentle, lazy people. I do rough stuff up, you know. And I thought if an Apex screen can like last with me, then it can last with anybody.
Yeah.
So that's in my next video. That actually, I've not done it yet, but that's my plan. I'm going to take it off dead slow. Like,
there's a lot of machines. You press the screen like really hard, and it'll almost go in. Whereas this, that's proper solid. It's almost like Gorilla Glass.
It looks very delicate, but it's not. Is it? I mean, I noticed that when I very first opened the box up, and I did my unboxing. And from looking at it, from what I'd seen, because I've been waiting for it for weeks and weeks and weeks, I thought it looked quite delicate. And when he opened it up, I was quite surprised about how strong and solid it was.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying now?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and the shaft, is strong.
It is. Everything's strong about. I mean, there's no wobble on it, is there?
No.
I mean, people say, "Oh, why have you kept the same? Why have they kept the same shaft with them bolts on it?" I mean, I think they've kept them because they were, it's very solid. It doesn't wobble. You're not going to get any breakage on it.
I'm poking Chris.
Oh,
I've been told to give Chris a nudge.
Is he awake, Chris? Yeah, Chris.
wide awake. Yeah.
Have you got any questions about the Apex at all, Chris?
No, I use the AT Pro and I got no intention of changing it.
And what obviously you like that. That's your machine of choice.
Yeah, I love it.
You will do when you get an AT Apex, Chris. Then your blood will be like, oh.
No, I
does
know
blood do that?
You'll be like, I need one of them. I need one of them.
Yeah. Oh, just dropped it. It's probably broken the glass now, but
anyway,
yeah.
The Apex is on its way now, isn't it? So people are going to be able to do all the tests that they want to do and everything else like that. I think they're arriving at the next couple of weeks, and already some of the dealers in America have got them. And I think Regton's are due to have a collection in. So the people that have been on pre-order are going to get them. And then you'll be able to see for yourself, won't you? But I think it's going to be a absolutely fantastic addition to the Garrett range.
Marvellous. Well, I think we've spoke lots and lots about the Apex and obviously Diggers Depths. We've seen some new inclusions in the show, which there'll be more coming in the near future. Hello, Lloyd. I'm not saying that. But yeah, we will be evolving. What I'm going to do now, we're nearing the end of the show. Sorry, one more question from Rod West. What price will they be starting at?
So the price that they're starting at in the UK, I don't want to get this wrong, is £459.99 without MS3 headphones. And they're going to be £519.95 with MS headphones. And there's no deals and 10% off or anything else like that anywhere else like that. So that's what the price is going to be. Marvelous. Which I think is for what it is with all its wireless technology and everything else like that, I think is a really good price.
Well, there you go. That's all about the Apex. So before we do go, I've got a few mentions for the past year to put out, and also I want to play this video from the Aussie Gold Hunters as well. So before we go, Dawn, can you point people to your Facebook and YouTube?
So obviously, if you don't know me already, Digger Dawn Metal Detecting on YouTube. Just nearly 17,000 subs. And I've also got quite a big group on Facebook with about 15,000 people on Facebook, which is Digger Dawn Metal Detecting again. It's quite easy.
Fantastic. And Chris, yourself, can you point out people to Diggers Dips and also any mentions, etc.?
Yeah, well, it's diggersdips.com, nice and easy to remember. Could I just answer one question I see somebody asked?
Certainly.
Rob Random said, will you be sponsoring anyone with the Diggers Dips brand? Everything happens at some stage. We're only 10 weeks old, but I would like to think at the end, within a year, there'd be a little football team running around with Diggers Dips on the back of their T-shirts. But right now, obviously 10 weeks old, no, we won't be doing anything like that.
Will they all have a Nocta football pitch with a mini horde? Oh, I've moved.
You bet.
He's moved me. So that's Diggers Dips and that's Diggers Dawn. Also, obviously, thank you to Adrian Gaylor tonight. Adrian, if you want to pop out any interesting information, shout outs, etc.?
No. Just to say, obviously, Treasure Hunting magazine's out in the shops now, and obviously Greenlight Publishing, who are the publisher, have many books, and they have done for over 30, 40 years now at greenlightpublishing.com. If you like reading about buttons or buckles or crotal bells, there's a book for it. So have a look at greenlightpublishing.com. There's some great books on there about detecting.
I'm actually looking for my latest book from Greenlight, and I can't see where it is.
I
I'll
love
find
Greenlight books. I'm always buying stuff from there.
Oh,
Yeah.
Greenlight's immense.
What book is it, Dave, you're looking for?
I don't know. Can't remember. I just
and
know I
they
got
also-
one.
they also
Oh,
do
there
web-
it is. There it is. British Artifacts Volume 2. Middle Saxon and Vikings by
Oh, it's
Brett
me on the
Hammond.
front. It's me on the front there.
Oh, look. Here he is.
Yeah, casually after work shot. Jules, Julian Evan Hart said we need to get a photograph with the Vanquish. But yeah, there's worldwide shipping as well with Greenlight Publishing. But they've been writing books for 40 years, same as Metal Detecting magazine, and it is the UK's biggest magazine. So yeah.
TC Detects, Tony Kaywood said, Adrian, mention Team Rutus UK.
Who? Oh,
No,
yeah. Hi, Tony. Yes, not forgetting. I'm a Rutus team expert along with Tony Kaywood and many others. Rutus team expert. If you just Google it, you'll find it. We're people who have Rutus machines. I have an Alta 71. So
I like a Rutus machine, me.
do you know what, Dawn? It's funny. It doesn't quite look as swish as a lot of machines, but you've got 71 frequencies on there, and it's not a hard machine to use. A lot of people think it is, but I mean, last year I found that medieval 13th century gold ring, didn't I, Dave? With it, I found many nice finds. It's like buying a car, and you want to have a 1 litre L for a day, and then the next day you might want to have a Cosworth. You can adjust it for different settings.
Well, I did go one, a detectable one. I was really impressed with the reactivity on it.
Yeah, it's really quick. And do you know what I love about it? It's a little tiny company in Poland. There's a guy called Arik and his wife, Viola, and they do everything themselves. He writes the software, he creates the circuit boards, and they're bringing out a new one soon, which Tony gave me an update the other day. There may be some new Rutus products, but there's a new Rutus machine, like many others, like C-Scope and all that, coming out soon. But yeah, big shout out to Rutus Team Expert.
We actually published on the Archaeology and Metal Detecting magazine website a few weeks ago an interview with Arik, which was very eye-opening. And obviously, when you say about them doing everything, he's such a nice chap, and Viola as well.
Yeah.
And when you say it's simple to use, do you know who I am?
Yeah.
I had to use yours and Tony's settings, and I still couldn't use it.
You
Now we're a
can't even
simplex.
You can't even buy the right hair dye, Dave. So, beard dye.
Hair dye? Right, so thank you, everybody. It's been fantastic. I hope everybody's enjoyed the new format, the new inclusions. As I say, background's going to be changing, other things are going to be changing. Me and Luke have been sadly a lot busy this week, so we've not been able to do everything that we wanted to. But, the news worked, the images worked, the co-host, you've been fantastic tonight, Adrian. Obviously, as have the guests, Chris and Dawn. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you all, as usual. So thank you all.
I'm with Adrian tonight on your show.
You meet all the best people here.
Do you know what? I think it's very clever, Dawn, as well, how Dave has got each one of us in each room of his house. It looks like we're all over the country. So
You're upstairs and I'm downstairs.
Hold on a minute. Chris isn't here because the internet keeps going.
I've put a hot water bottle in Chris's bed. Chris, Dave's on bottom.
So to finish tonight, I've got one thing to share and a video as well. So before I go, again, thank you to everybody. It's been fantastic. I just want to do some shout outs to people who've been with us over the past year. So I've got a book with everything written down so I don't forget anyone. In no particular order, Julian Evan Hart, Pete Terrell, Mark Betcher, Dilek Gonule, Gary Cook, Lee Hull, Gary Blackwell, Adrian Gaylor, Andre Figueredo, Adam Weedle, Stephen Gray, Steve Hambleton, Mark Lawson, Big Fines, Little Fines, Chris Bailey, Celtic Stags, who we've got something in a minute, unable to put the video on because we haven't had chance, but we give a shout out to the event. Scotty B, Steve Tomlinson, Scott Holden from Detector Network, Catherine Lang and John Finnis, Martin Zero, Tony Kaywood, Addicted to Bleeps, Scott and Kimmy DeBay, Gary Brunn, can't read what that one says, Digger Dawn, Graham Stokes, Kev Malchese, Adrian Staples, Rick Landecker, Kev Whitmore, Marius Milker, that's Brad, Steve Pettican, and if I've forgot anybody who has been on the show, I do apologise. Nick West, who I'm going to get back soon, because we all want to learn more about the metal detecting war relics. So, again, thank you to each and every one of them. Luke, if I can share the screen before we go, that will be fantastic. And first up, there's an event coming up. Celtic Stags. If you go to the Celtic Stags Facebook page, you will see they have an event at Strata Florida Abbey, which I'd not heard about until Craig told me all about it. It's on the 4th of September until the 6th of September, and that's in. Are you ready for this? Here goes Dave with words that he can't pronounce. A 12th century former Cistercian abbey situated just outside Pont Redifendigaid near Tregarian in the county of Ceredigion. The abbey was founded in 1164. So there's that event. If you can pop over if interested. It's a weekend rally, and honestly, from the information that I've received, the images, it's directly opposite. You can see the abbey exactly from where the event is. So that's that. And I did say I wanted to show the video. So this is the video of
mate, look, it's around
this.
Here. Look, oh, mate, it's right out here. Look, can you pull it out or not? No. They're actually the big ones, or big targets, are actually sort of hard to pinpoint. The signal's so strong.
You right, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. I'm good.
You don't want to give it to him?
No. I hate doing this. I love it, but I hate it. Because these nuggets are worth well and truly over gold price. If you ding it.
Are we through?
Hey, look, Paul. What do you see there, mate? Oh. Hey? It's gold! It's gold, buddy! You get it, Paul. You get it. You get it. No, mate, grab it. Go on. If you don't, I'm going to hurry up.
Mate, this is gold.
Look at it. Oh, mate, look, it's around here. Look. Oh, mate, it's right out here. Look, can you pull it out or not?
No, I can't. I can't.
Woo.
Pop it out.
Now we can get excited. Oh, look, oh, stop. Look. Oh. Look. Oh, mate.
Grab it out.
Oh, God, it's getting bigger. It's growing. I feel like a little beaver. All right.
Get it, mate.
Hang on.
Go on.
Just try and get under it.
Pop it.
Look at that. Oh.
Can I pick it?
No, grab it, Paul. Grab it.
Grab it.
Grab it. Oh, so happy for you, mate.
We've done it.
I've got a tear in my eye for you. Feel that? Oh,
This is all we come here for, mate.
feel that, mate.
This is all we come here for.
Help me out, boy.
Sorry ass DJ.
I think